Hi everyone, hope you're all doing fine. So this is our second session in economics. In this session, we will be covering the topic central problems of an economy and the production possibility curve. So what are central problems? These are actually problems which are faced by every economy and they relate to the production or the generation of goods and services and their distribution among the masses of the country. So what are these central problems or what are the types of central problems? Basically, there are three central problems that are faced by every economy. What to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. What are they? What to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Now, what do these central problems imply? First, what to produce. This relates to the sort or the type of goods to be produced and the quantity of each good to be produced. That is, what good should an economy produce and in what quantity. This is the first problem. The second problem is how to produce. This relates to the technique of production, whether the country should use labor intensive technique or capital intensive technique. See, but labor intensive technique, if I say, means it doesn't mean that only labor intensive technology should be used. There is a need for a proper mix between labor intensive and capital intensive technique. The only fact we are discussing here is which of these techniques should a country rely more on. See, for example, the United States is highly advanced and they have many higher technology. So they can rely more on capital intensive techniques. On the other hand, India is a highly populous country. So it is better for India to rely more on labor intensive techniques. Now the third problem is the problem of for whom to produce. Who should enjoy the benefit of the goods or the services which are produced? Whether it should be the rich people only or whether it should be distributed evenly among the masses. There are many factors which decide on these, but essentially this problem is related to the problem of distribution of income among the masses. Next, we come to the concept of the production possibility curve. What is the production possibility curve? This is actually a diagrammatic representation of the quantity or the possible combinations of two goods which a country can produce with given resources and available technology. So, what are the resources we have at present and what technology we have at present? Using these both optimally or putting them to the best use, how much of two goods can we produce or the possible combinations of two goods which we can produce. This is given by the production possibility curve. Now we come to the properties of the production possibility curve. So what are the production properties of the production possibility curve? First, it is downward sloping. See, the resources we have at present and the technology we have at present, they are fixed. So in order to increase the production of one good, we'll have to sacrifice the production of some other good because given technology and given resources. So in order to increase the production of one good, the production of another good must be sacrificed. Then higher PPC means higher production. See, there are two curves given in the figure. One is the dark line figure and one is the dotted line figure. But the dotted line curve is higher than the dark one. In the dotted line curve, actually we can produce more of one good and no less of the other. So higher PPC means higher production. And if an economy moves from the lower PPC to the higher PPC, it means the economy is growing. Now, the next main property of PPC is that all the points on or inside the PPC are attainable. Okay, now there are 4 points which are labeled A, B, C and D. A and B lie on the PPC. That is, when the given resources and technology are used optimally, we can produce either A combination of goods or B quantity of the two goods. But if they are not used optimally, we will move to a point inside the PPC, for instance point C. But think of point D. What about point D? Even if we use the given resources and technology at their best, we will not be able to produce D. So D is unattainable point. Then the final property of PPC is that it is concave to the origin. Why is this concave shape? Or its shape is like a half bell. Why is that shape? This is because none of the resources will be equally efficient in producing all the goods. Say, let's take a resource or a machine is efficient in producing butter. Now, if you want to change the production from butter to cotton, this machine, even if it produces cotton, it will not be as efficient as it produces butter. So, imperfect substitutability of factors lead to the concave shape of the production possibility curve. Now, we are seeing how the production possibility curve helps solve the three central problems. First, what to produce. We know that all the points on the PPC depict optimum combination of goods or goods that can be produced using optimum use of resources. So based on the needs, the country's needs, on the country's policies, based on this the country can decide where on the PPC should the country operate. So this gives a proper solution to the first problem. Then how to produce? See, only if we use all the resources and technology optimally, we will be able to operate on the PPC. So the country can decide on the optimal technology to be used, how to produce using the PPC. That is the proper mix of labor intensive and capital intensive techniques which will yield production equivalent to that depicted on the PPC. Such a combination can be adopted, or such combination of technology can be adopted by the country. Now we are coming to the third problem, for whom to produce. But PPC does not solve this problem because it is related to the distribution of income. This is not related to production. PPC only shows the production possibility. It doesn't show the distribution possibility. So the country can produce the goods in any point on the PPC. However, while distribution, they should remember that distribution must be equitable as far as possible. That is, all sections of people, rich or poor, they must be able to get a fair share in the output produced. Now, there are two more things that are depicted by the PPC. First, economic growth. As I have already mentioned, higher PPC means higher production. So, if new resources are discovered or there is advancement in technology that leads to higher production, the PPC will shift towards the right. In our previous diagram, from the dark lined PPC to the dotted lined PPC. So, such a shift indicates economic growth. Now, efficient use of resources is also indicated by PPC. As I have already told you, on the PPC that I showed you, point A and B depict optimum use of resources. That is efficient use of resources. However, if resources are not used efficiently, we will be operating in point C because we don't use the resources efficiently and our production doesn't meet the maximum criterion set by the production possibility curve. So we need to improve the use of resources so that we can move towards the PPC. Now let's summarize. Ready? So what did we learn? First, what are the central problems of an economy? What to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. What to produce means what goods should be produced and in what quantity. How to produce, whether to use labor intensive or capital intensive technology. For whom to produce, how to distribute this goods among the masses. Now we, we came to the production possibility curve. What is it? It shows the possible combination of two goods that an economy can produce with given resources and available technology. Now then we discover the PPC features. What are the features of PPC? First, downward sloping, and it shows the locus of all attainable points. It is concave to the origin, and higher PPC means higher production. And we also discuss how PPC solves the central problems of an economy. Then we discuss about how PPC can depict economic growth, as well as how it can show how efficiently we use the resources. PPC helps us to analyze how efficiently we are using our resources. So friends, we have come to the end of the second lecture. So in the third lecture, we will start our discussion regarding consumer behavior. As I have already told you, microeconomics deals with individual economic units, and the first unit is consumer. Next section onwards, we will discuss consumer behavior. So till then, take care. Bye bye. Thank you.